All right, what's up? What's up? So, trying out a new time right now. We're just going to try out some new times temporarily, just to see if more people show up during this time of hour versus five. But definitely let me know if this is a good time to go live, or you like me going live originally more in the evening, like somewhere around like 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. I personally thought 5 through 7 would be a better time, but according to the analytics, I noticed that more people are watching my content around 12 to 3 p.m. So definitely let me know in the comment section when y'all want me to go live, and I'll take that into consideration. But with that said, we're talking about turning some things around, right? And we're doing also a Q&A. So if you have any type of questions or concerns, definitely let me know. But I spoke about this before on Monday, where I talked about the content that I'm showing on my social media page, and what we're going to do is start changing that around. We're going to start limiting some of the content when it comes to direct veganism, and then start opening up new content, moving more into people's pains and problems. Okay. And the reason is not that, I'm not coming on here saying that I'm not going to be vegan anymore, but I feel that for over the years, I've kind of put myself in this bubble of being vegan and using veganism as almost like an identity for myself. And there's more of me than just veganism. You know what I'm saying? Because I own a business called Body HD Fitness. I'm opening up a new business called Hungry for Success. And I want to be able to start educating people and helping people when it comes to health and also finance and building a brand online. You know what I'm saying? And with that said, I want to start reducing some of the content that I'm doing when it comes to veganism and start really going into the business of helping people. All right. So again, it's not that I'm quitting veganism and changing up my dietary lifestyle or my belief systems and things like that. I feel that I want to start using my platform more than just a platform for activism, and using veganism as a label and trapping me in this bubble where the only thing I'm talking about is veganism. Okay. So this is why I'm going on live explaining these things. But with that said, I do have a free ebook. I'm going to have a new ebook coming out pretty soon. Hopefully it'll be done within a week or two. But it's going to be called Flex Fuel. So Flex Fuel is going to be a new ebook that's going to be talking more on holistic nutrition, and especially specified for people who wants to eat healthier. Okay. So I've always trained people who was vegan. Majority of my clients already in health and fitness is vegan or vegetarian, but more on the vegan side or a plant-based side, if you want to be more specific. And we do have a small number of people that do still consume animal byproducts. But one of the things that we are doing is it's something that I never really done to my clients, but I never spoke bad about them. I never made them feel like they're in a place where they feel neglected because they're not vegan. And I know that there's companies out there and fitness companies out there that they're vegan and they won't even train anyone that is non-vegan. They won't even give them a meal plan that's non-vegan. You know what I'm saying? So, and I've never turned around. I never turned away those particular type of clients. Always say, yeah, you can still work with me. We can include some animal byproducts into the meal plan. The only thing with the meal plan, when we do design it, we will give you the options, but it's going to be more of a holistic approach, more on a, I guess you could say, a plant forward diet. And this is because, when it comes to nutrition in general, you could get a lot of your vitamins, minerals, and dietary fiber from plant-based foods. I mean, that is the truth. But does someone have to be vegan to have optimal health? No. Do they have to reduce their animal intake? Yes. So what I usually do, and my team usually does, is that we create meal plans for individuals that has animal byproducts, but the recipes that you guys see it on my page as well, it's always going to be vegan, because I'm not going to go to that level where I'm cooking the vegan foods. I think it's really unnecessary for me to do so. And so what we'll do is, like, if we made like tofu scramble or something like that, we'll also show that person, like, if you don't want to do tofu, you could do eggs. And from this type of approach, being more open and just more real when it comes to nutrition and not so polarized, those individuals end up becoming more plant-based, or they just reduce their animal intake and start eating more plant-based foods. Maybe some days they'll have a vegan day or a couple of vegan meals. But how I look at it at the end of the day, regardless of my ethical beliefs, is that, if I could get someone to consume less animal byproducts, I'm helping them. Also, I'm helping veganism as a community as well, and helping animals too. So I don't see anything wrong with that. And this is something that I've been doing in my business, and it works. You know what I'm saying? And it's not coming from a judgmental place. It's not coming. I'm not putting anyone down of their dietary preferences. I'm not pushing my beliefs on people. Where this and again, this is one of the reasons why I want to start shifting the content, because I've gotten so much hate over the years. You know what I'm saying? And I have tough skin. Trust me, I have tough skin. But sometimes you want to listen to certain people, because certain people do say the truth. Like, out of all that harshness, I can't keep saying, well, that person's insecure. There is a little bit of truth out of some of the hate messages I do receive. And some people do think and polarize me as someone that's pushing my beliefs on them. But in our reality, I'm not. Because if you really met me in person, I don't really care if you eat meat. Like, I could go out to dinner with someone, go to a restaurant, they can order a 12-ounce steak. I'm not going to judge them right there. Now, there's certain vegans that I've spoken to that are totally like that. And I've even had vegans who told me straight up didn't like my approach, or didn't like that I had non-vegan friends. But in my eyes, it's prejudice at the end of the day. And people would try to, use other examples of, people who are doing illegal activities. I don't want to even say the word, but I think everyone on here are kind of smart enough you could think of some of it, that's just totally out of pocket, and compare it to someone's dietary preference. And I'm just a big believer where it's like, I have my certain beliefs about certain things, but I also believe in law of the land. And it's like, we live in a world that eating animals is legal, and no one gets punished for that. So I can't push my ideology on someone because of this. And some people might agree, some people might disagree. Hey, you're human. You don't have to agree with everything I believe, but I'm not the one that's going to sit there and be prejudiced against someone because they consume animal byproducts. Like, I rather help that individual and show them nothing but kindness to be able to do so. And hopefully through what I teach and my approach, hopefully they be able to reduce their animal intake. And again, when people start learning more about me personally, they end up reducing their meat intake overall. They're not coming to the table afraid to order meat and eat it in front of me, because I actually hate that, because it's like, I actually hate when people look at that, because it feels dumb. I hate making people feel uncomfortable, I want people to feel comfortable around me, and because I'm not thinking anything negative about that. I just want to learn about you. I just want to hang out. And, if I can be a great example of that, of someone who's non-judgmental, and show that, you could be healthy and fit on a plant-based diet, then maybe, you could go 100% and do it, or just take a small percentage of what I'm doing and apply it to your lifestyle. You know what I mean? And that's all a win, because at the end of the day, from when I'm training people who are non-vegans, and when they do my meal plans, they end up going more plant-based because of how they feel. It has nothing to do with convincing them and showing them slaughterhouse videos. It is just showing them how they actually feel by eating more plant-based foods. And when they're eating it, and especially something that is structured and that is customized to their problems, to alleviate those problems, like they're now, if they ask me why I went vegan, and then they want to hear my stories or go down that rabbit hole, they're more open for that now. They're not so defensive and so closed off in the get-go. They're more open, And Ray Tapping says, finger wagging just creates resistance. You're right. Exactly. Yeah. And that's what, and you're right? You're absolutely right. This is why I'm here, because I feel like I want to take some accountability with that. I feel like a lot of my content is finger wagging. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of realized that, and I want to not finger wag anymore. I want to kind of be more open, more authentic, be my true self, not just online and clickbaits and stuff like that. I want to be more of my authentic self, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not this person. Like, I'm not someone who, will talk shit in front of you. Like, I'm not gonna put you down because you eat meat and something like that. If you eat it, technically I don't care, because it's your life. It's your life. And if you go sleep better at night eating that, like, go ahead, whatever, man. It's not like I'm perfect either. I used to eat meat too. So, who am I to judge? You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. And with this new business model that I'm creating called Hungry for Success, it's not just about dieting, but it's about a lot of things that I'm bringing to the table. So when it comes to Hungry for Success, I'm just going to read out the layout that I have written down so far, because when you're creating a new business, it's like, and when you're creating a new business, it really comes down. The first thing you want to do is write down your ideas. You want to write it down. That's the first thing. Whatever you have, any type of dreams or goals that you have in your mind, the first step of putting it into reality is by writing it down. That's the first step. And because if you're not writing it down, it's never going to happen. It's like it's like if you're trying to build a skyscraper, like, do you think all the skyscrapers you ever seen in your life, like, do you feel that people just start building, like, oh, I imagine this skyscraper and start building it? Nah, man. If building skyscrapers was that easy and people just start building it because they just thought about it and just start building it without any plans, any blueprints, without writing anything down, the shit's going to fall down in the construction of it, and people are going to get killed and hurt, right? So the first thing you want to do is build that blueprint, write down the ideas, start writing down that structure. And what I'm going to do is read some of this structure, because I've already have it down. I already have like the packages that I want to create, what I want to offer to people to really help them out. And because that's what building businesses are for. It's not just about making money, but it's about solving people problems, and the money is just the reward of helping that individual, so they can be able to apply the knowledge that you give them, so they can be winners as too, so they can live a good life. And I think everyone wants to live a good life and be able to do what they want to believe, right? So even if you're someone who's vegan and you're an activist, you're hardcore, and you want to be able to spread your message, you want to be able to build your brand, guess what? You need a structure, you need a plan, you need money, right? You need a business idea, so you'd be able to fund what you're trying to do. Because I'm telling you, just protesting in the street and just begging for cash and money, it's not it. You know what I mean? You're not going to go so far with that. So it's not just for this. What I'm building is not just for vegans. It's for non-vegans, vegans. It's for anyone who really are hungry for success. And that's why I call it Hungry for Success. It's for anyone that is hungry to be successful in life. Okay. And what I'm sharing is the principles that I've applied to help me build a multi six-figure business and was able to sell over 7 figures worth of products within a short period of 4 or 5 years. Okay. So number one, what we're going to focus on is entrepreneurs and coaches who wants to build a business or trying to earn some entrepreneurs and coaches earning under $10,000 a month. Okay. So if you're not making more than $10,000 a month, this is probably for you. Okay. So if you want to be able to hit that number and make more, that's what you want to do, because $10,000 a month is nothing for me. I usually make about $30,000 each month easily. Okay. So if you want to be able to make at least $10,000 a month online, or even in your business, I can help you with that. Okay. I spent over $100,000 in business coaching and education. I worked with some of the top coaches you already know already, like Brandon Carter, Tanner Tedester, Charlie Johnson, Grant Cardone. I worked for these individuals and was able to gather so much knowledge, pick brains of millionaires and billionaires, right? And this is what got me to this idea, like all this knowledge that I applied and utilized, all the money that I invested into these individuals, why not use this and share it to others? Why only hold it for myself and keep it in a vault and be greedy with it, right? So that's the thing too. Also, I want to be able to, this is also built for high-performing professionals who's ready to lose 30 pounds, right? So if you're someone who wants to become an entrepreneur, right? Like, yeah, you want to have the business, but the fitness also plays a significant role as well. I'm not trying to make you into a fitness coach unless you want to be, but if you're trying to build a 6-7 figure business, a lot of the discipline is going to come into focusing on yourself as well. This plays a big part, because if you could perform, if you could build discipline within your own self, which you have control of your own body, if you have more control and discipline for yourself, it's a lot easier to do it when it comes to business. And right now they say online that it's easier to become a millionaire than have a 6-pack. So imagine if you're able to get a 6-pack, how much easier do you think it's going to become a millionaire? This is also for people who's trying to people that are suffering from fatigue, high blood pressure, diabetes, right? Because what happens when you're trying to strive for success? What happens? You end up eating. You're eating your way out of pleasure, right? Because you're so tired, you're so stressed, you're so thin with money. You go to food, right? And then when you go to food, what happens? Then you always feel tired all the time. And when you always feel tired, guess what? You don't feel motivated to do anything. You don't feel motivated to come out with creative ideas to be able to build your business, to build your brand, right? Or you're developing high blood pressure and diabetes. Like I literally spoke to a person on the phone last week who's building a business. This individual is doing very well, but then they're overweight and they have high blood pressure and high cholesterol. Like it's sad to see people like this, because it's like they're not ready to take that step to take care of themselves, because they keep sacrificing the business over themselves. And what they don't understand is that it's only so much sacrifice you could do, because eventually when you already have a health related issue and you're running a business, your business is eventually, you're building an empire that's going to fall dramatically. Because if you're having problems with hiring clients and hiring people, and you're trying to wear multiple hats, and now you have a health-related disease on top of that, guess what? That creates more pressure. It creates more stress in your life. And then what's going to happen? And this is why I even told the individual, I was like, hey, listen, I mean, you could keep pushing back this program and this offer that I'm trying to give you, but eventually, if you don't really come to reality and say, I need to take care of myself, your body will make you do it itself. Okay. And the last thing you want is your body putting you into a halt. Because when your body actually shuts down and puts you in a halt, you're literally rolling the dice at this point. Okay. Some people don't even get a second chance, if that makes sense. Okay. And if you do get that second chance, and the paramedics are able to revive you, or you're at the hospital and they're able to revive you, whatever problems that you're having, guess what? 10 times harder to get back to health versus when you first got diagnosed. That's why I always say preventive medicine is the best medicine. But if you already have the diagnose of these health-related diseases, you're already in the red zone. Okay. This is also for creators who want to scale a brand and a body without burnout. I've seen this so many times being on social media. I've been on social media since 2012. Okay. Since 2012. And I want to be honest. I'm not these guys who, made a million got a million followers over 1 year. All right. And guess what? The reality is, like, these individuals that's telling you that online, this is bullshit. It's bullshit, man. Like, I'm telling you, the chances of you getting a million followers within a couple of weeks is a lot. It's a big promise, and I'm telling you, it's not for everyone. And here's the thing: sometimes you don't need a big following to make a lot of money. Okay, you don't. I've seen as many business people I know, entrepreneurs, bosses, CEOs. You don't need a big following. You just need the right people, because you can have a million followers, but no one is a qualified buyer to purchase your merchandise or whatever you're trying to sell in your brand. So the numbers doesn't really equate to money unless that's the route you're trying to go. Like, let's say you're an OnlyFans model, the numbers is going to equate to the value. But even that, if we're looking down that range, even that has certain consequences, because if you're not smart about business and how you expose yourself online, you could still run short, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? You still run short. There's a business model behind every business, even OnlyFans. I'm not promoting OnlyFans, but I'm just saying, I'm just using that as an example. Or if you're like a YouTuber or something like that, that's another thing. But I'm telling you, that's a hard job too. It's a hard job. All right. So that's something that you have to think about. Okay. Also, this is for people who stuck in information overload with no real system. Like, you're going online, you're listening to all these little quick tips about sales and business and fitness and nutrition, but you're not doing anything. Because what happens is when you're looking online and you're going through all this small little 1 minute, 2 minute clips of information, or you're watching these hour podcasts all the time, sometimes you get so stimulated with information, it actually stops you from actually taking real action. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you have to filter out the noise and find that one individual that you trust, that you can just focus on, that where you're getting good information from someone who actually did it, someone who's real, someone who's actually authentic, and then just apply it. And that's it. And that person, like myself, just as I coach my students, that's how they get results, because they're not looking all over the place. They're just following my directions, or they're following one of my coach's directions. And that's it. They're reporting to one person, and that person is telling them what to do from A to Z, right? It's the same reason why I hired mentors. I invested into mentors. That's why I tell everyone that I invested over $100,000 in investing. Some of them, I'm gonna be honest, some of them was very expensive and wasn't really worth the value, but some of them was actually worth the value. Okay, and but out of the whole scheme of things, it wasn't a waste of money at the end of the day, because this is what all with all the information that I gathered, it brought me to here today. Okay, so even though someone's maybe expensive and I got a little bit of value from that, and I was like, well, I didn't think spending 20K on this individual was really worth it because I only gathered like one or two pieces of knowledge. I mean, when it comes to this game, it's going to be like that sometimes, you know. So that's the thing. Like, you want to be able to invest into something that's going to actually filter out the noise and give you a blueprint to reach to the goals that you're trying to achieve. So if you're trying to be able to make $10,000 a month, like, you want to get to someone who actually done it already, done it multiple times, and someone that has a strategy, a blueprint to help you get there. Okay. And then this is also for people who are tired of guessing, they're burning out, or playing small. So if this is you, this is probably for you. Number 3, why it works. Because again, first, when it comes to the fitness, we offer elite fitness joint rehab. This is functional workouts for long-term performance, not just aesthetics. Now, this is one of the reasons why I quit bodybuilding. You're right. One of the reasons I quit bodybuilding, because with Body HD Fitness, right, and with everything I've been promoting, is a lot about aesthetics. Now, on the back end, when people actually get on a sales call with me, like, the workouts are customized. I wasn't just giving them bodybuilding programs, okay? But sometimes that would get misconstrued online because people would just judge me on what I do, and it makes sense. But the reason I quit bodybuilding, because I'm 40 years old now. It's not all about aesthetics and looks and having a six pack. I wanted to show people what all this muscle can actually do, right? So that's why I got the bike, right? Because I wanted to show people that even though I've all this muscle and I got all these rewards from my body looking good and having the discipline to do all the work, it's not just for show, it's also for performance. And just to give you an example, just last Sunday, I was able to, remember, this is 1 week owning this bike. I rode 50 miles from Miami all the way to Fort Lauderdale and back in one day within 3 to 4 hours. All right. So it's not just, I know my time could improve for sure, but for be able to do 50 miles in 1 week, just owning a road bike, I think it's pretty good. And I'm pretty happy with that. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to show people that, there's performance behind that, behind all the muscle. And it's the same thing I do for other individuals as well, because I have trained multiple types of people, from CEOs, doctors, lawyers, entrepreneurs, to even athletes like, triathletes, to professional cyclists. And I was able to improve their performance. And I showed this in the testimonials, but sometimes, the testimonials do get lost with a lot of other things that I do post. We do science-based nutrition. Again, I'm going to start talking more online, but even within the program of Hungry for Success, we're going to talk about the holistic way of eating, high protein meal plans that boost energy and optimize your hormones, especially for people over 40. So if maybe you're 35 going into your 40s, this is probably the program for you, because you want to be able to do that. You don't want to do it once you're 40. You want to kind of do what I did. Like, I started eating better, started improving my health and wellness, learning about supplementations, learning about blood tests, things that's going to actually prepare myself going into my 40s so I can look the way I look, have the optimal blood results, have the optimal hormones to do all the things that I can do. Also, as well, we're going to offer some business coaching. Like, business coaching is going to be built off of your brand. All right, what your offers are, right? The pipeline that you need, the systems that you need to be able to make that 10K a month. I won't be honest with you, it's not easy, but there is a blueprint for that. And, you want to know how to do it. You don't want to just be following people online, because some people, if you follow some people online, like, you can get lost with the dumb shit. Like I always tell people straight up, like if you want to be able to make a million followers very fast, just do a lot of dumb things. Do jokes, do stupid things, make controversial content. That's ways you can get followers. But again, it goes back to, will it help with your brand? Would it help transitioning some of those followers into real paying clients? Probably not, because people aren't going to take you seriously. You know what I'm saying? So you want to be able to build a brand that people can trust and be able to invest into you. Okay. So you can provide value. Now, then we're going to show you a bulletproof system, right? This bulletproof system is going to come with sales scripts, automations, AI content, funnel strategies, right? This is very important as well, because AI is new, is coming up, and you don't want to be behind this, right? AI is going full force. It doesn't matter what you think or what your beliefs are, it's going to happen. Okay. And if you're going to protest and talk about AI sucks and stuff like that, guess what? You're going to be left behind and you're going to be in the dust when there's businesses and everyone else in the world using AI. You want to be able to learn how to utilize it, because this can help a lot when it comes to sales psychology, helping you creating your own personal sales script so you could be able to close the deal. This is going to help you build automations so you could be able to focus more on things that's more important in your business that actually help resonate building more money in your business. Okay. It's going to give you funnel strategies when it comes to building ads, campaigns. That's going to really help you build your business better. Also as well, we're going to offer some mentorship and military level accountability. So like I've always said, I've been in the military for over 8 years. And for someone who led, I led by someone who actually lived it and built it and scaled it. Right. So what I did is took all the military disciplines that I had and I started applying it to my work ethics. Right. And I'm going to show you that level of discipline, that level of accountability to be able to do so. Okay. So those are some of the things that we're going to really offer in this new business. And I want to be able to help people out with this. But, I've seen a lot of people actually commenting, especially on the YouTube. Let's see on Instagram if we got some people. We got, let me see. On the YouTube, let's see. Okay, let's see on Instagram. And I want to be able to help people out with this. But, I've seen a lot of people. There's going to be a playback. Commenting, especially on YouTube. All right. So, I don't see anyone on Instagram. That's totally fine, but we can go ahead with the YouTube, because the YouTube people really want some questions. So your mom says, can you do workout vlogs? I think people will love it. Very fun to listen to. Yeah, I can start doing that for sure. That is in the works when it comes to workout vlogs. It's just like with the workout vlogs and with filming, and the reason for me right now, vlogs are kind of hard because we're already behind with content. I had to because with this new business that I'm building, I'm restructuring the content as well. And the thing with vlogs is that it's pretty much an all-day thing, and that's the only problem with vlogs. And I only film like twice a month. So when I'm doing a vlog, I really have to have everything very structured. And then also at the same time, we have a lot of brand deals that we have to do for videos. We have to make commercials and brand deals for them as well. So they're kind of priority before we could do any fun extra stuff. So when I try to do the vlogs, it's because I've already accomplished all the brand deals. I was able to make all the content that I can make for everyone else on Instagram and YouTube. And then the vlogs is like the extra. So I wanted to do like a workout vlog where, I'm working out, I'm talking and stuff like that. But now having the bike, it is going to be a little difficult because I have to get a camera system for the bike, because I don't think the camera guys have, whatever it's called. I can't even think of the name, but like a little hovercraft. I forgot what those things called to follow me while I'm riding. And but we're going to try to make something because I still lift and stuff like that. I still lift weights and stuff. So that'll be easier, and I could definitely do that. But I want to also include like some bike vlogs too. I think that would be dope as well. But yeah, just to answer your question, yeah, we're going to have some stuff like that. Alvin, what's up, man? Now, Alvin right here, he's the dude, man. He's the guy who actually helped my lower back problems. It's one of the reasons why I'm quitting bodybuilding, and it's not because he told me to. It was because I was dealing with a lot of lower back pain, and it got to a point where I was wearing a lifting belt all the time, and he was able to help me relieve the pain 100%. And also be able to start deadlifting and squatting again without the belt. And now I'm pain free. Now, the reason I quit bodybuilding is because, and this is also because of Alvin help, because even though I was able to deadlift and squat again, it's like I can't do the volume that I used to do, and this is just with age and it's just with the sport of bodybuilding. It does put a lot of wear and tear. And I didn't want to change categories and start doing like physique, wearing the board shorts and stuff. It was a thing I always hated to do. So I'd rather walk away with my dignity and do something that I really enjoy. So I'm able to do this. And because of Alvin, and I'm sitting on this bike like for multiple hours, I'm able to do more volume on the bike and be able to ride the bike for many miles without back pain. So if you have a really crazy lower back issue, I highly recommend to work with Alvin. He has a 16-week program. My back was relieved faster than 16. It was really ready to go after 12 weeks working with him. So he is the dude for lower back pain, especially if it's something really bad. Like mine was bad because I couldn't figure it out. Like I did all the corrective stuff that I knew, and it wasn't working. And I also learned some stuff from him as well that worked for me specifically. But I highly recommend working with him. If you have crazy lower back pain. Says someone. Veg 90 says, I guess if someone enslaves, tortures, and kills other humans, you're okay with it if it lets them sleep at night. Nonsense. Yeah, and you're right, man. This is one of the reasons why I'm not doing it, because these type of comments. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm me personally. If you know who I am in real life, like I'm not someone who's going to talk shit to somebody like that. Yeah, and it's one of the reasons why like I'm getting away from this type of content, stuff like that, because it's just this type of hate. It's not helpful at all, so and again, like through me helping other people to actually transition more from an animal-based diet to a plant-based diet, the way you're speaking was not it. And I never spoke to people that way. So even at a protest, I never spoke to people that way. I always respected people. I respected their opinions. And there's ways to talk to individuals and get your point across without being rude, and this is why I don't do it, because again, like I said, the law of the land is eating animals is legal. So it's very hard to transition individuals' mindset with this type of attitude and thought process. So this is why I don't, this is one of the reasons why I'm shifting gears, you know what I'm saying? So, hopefully, like you said, you make a point. You're right about what you think and what you believe, but it's not my way of messaging and talking to individuals. Okay. So just as you express your ideology and how you feel with how other people are and how you want to speak to them, I have a particular way and belief system as well of how I speak to people and help others as well. Gordon Boone said most of million followers, guys, are just telling people what they want to hear. Exactly. You're absolutely correct. And this is why I'm saying, like, what I'm doing is I'm showing more of that transparency with the Hungry for Success. With Hungry for Success, it's going to be more real, more authentic, and it's really going to help people build a brand. And again, you don't need a big following. I'm telling you, man, you don't like I don't even, like, some people think I have a big following, but I don't consider myself big at all. Like, I'm very humble with what I have. It doesn't change who I am. I don't go around just like, I have 140,000 followers on Instagram. I'm an influencer. I'm not these type of people. Like, I really keep it to myself, and I let other people kind of find out, because I guess I don't want people to treat me differently just because of a following, like, I appreciate everyone that follows me, but like, it doesn't change who I am, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And again, the reality is that you don't need a huge following to build a good brand when it comes to business, or when it comes to being recognized, or what you're trying to do. Like, even public speaking events and stuff. Like, I got invited to so many public speaking events before I even hit 100,000 followers. When I had less, when I had 30,000 followers, I'll be honest with you, I was being invited to more public speaking events then than now. And the only reason is because I built my business, I have more things to focus on than going to speaking events. But if I have a chance and I can take some time off, then I do so when I can. But before, I had more time. My business wasn't as big in the past. I had less followings, but more speaking gigs, which actually helped with the growth of my business. You know what I'm saying? So again, like I've been in a lot of things. I've been featured on, and this is before having a big following. I've been featured on BBC One, Veganville. I've been featured on Amazon Prime, New Day, New Chef. You could look it up right now. I've been published in Sun Sentinel, and also New Post newspaper, a couple local magazines here in Miami, like the Fort Lauderdale magazine and Fitness for You. I've been published in multiple books, like The Plant-Based Athlete by Robert Sheik, and Shredded by Robert Sheik, and The Strong Vegan by Sergeant Vegan. Like, I've been featured in many books and stuff like that. And all those features happened when I had less than 100K, and these are some of the things I can help you with. I've been even on the news. I've been on the news as well, and this is before 100K. You know what I'm saying? So I know how to do it. And when it comes to podcasts, many podcasts, so many podcasts I've been. It's like so many, it's hard to count. I would say estimating maybe like 30, maybe from 30 to 50 podcasts. I know I've been on podcasts a lot. There's even a podcast right now that just came out today. One came out 2 weeks ago. Another one that was featured on came out today. So like, to be able to get on podcasts and get yourself recognized, I can help you with that, because there's a way of asking people. There's a way to promote yourself. You have to have a message, a voice, something to talk about. So even for someone like Veg90, who talked about like enslaved animals and torture and talking to all that shit, right? Like, he can even need some help with messaging, because if he learned how to message his ideology a lot better to be able to reach more people, like, I can help him with that. You know what I'm saying? I can help him with that. It's simple, but it's just like, you can't come off so aggressive. There's a way how people react, especially this day and age. Like, the hardcore aggressive approach isn't always the key for helping people, or spreading out a message, especially if you have a strong belief system on something. Yeah. So these are certain things. This is UFC legend and pioneer Mark the Hammer. How are you? Hey, what's up, man? How you doing, man? Let's see. This is Dana White. All right, cool. All right. And then let's see. Do you think you can obtain genetic potential without creatine? I don't know if this is real Dana White. Is that a real one? I don't know. And let's see, like right here, we have, do you think you can obtain genetic potential without creatine? Yeah, you can, but I don't think why you should stay away from creatine. Creatine is one. Right now, creatine is trending. Like, it's like one of the most trending topics right now. But before it was trending, creatine was always good. It's not that it was never bad. it was always a good product to take. It's one of the supplements that has the longest studies that actually provide real results, and it's I think it's called NSF, and it's also NSF certified. So that means that like college athlete, pro athletes can take it. And the NSF is very strict on supplements that athletes can take, but it's one of the supplements that is proven to work and super safe. So I would say the only thing that I've heard, and even myself had issues with the past, was I had water retention and bloating issues in the past. But here's the reality. Now, the only time I had bloating and water retention issues was when I was consuming more animal byproducts and taking creatine at the same time. Now, I don't know what it was. I mean, maybe my diet was shit. Yeah, that could be possible. Maybe it was just I'm getting creatine from animal byproducts and then I'm throwing more creatine with the supplement. Maybe it was just like too much at once, especially at a younger age. But right now, like creatine monohydrate doesn't affect me because I remember that creatine monohydrate was always keeping me bloated and holding water. And then when I started transitioning more into a plant-based diet and started learning more about supplementations and nutrition, I started taking creatine creatinine. And that one was really good for me. I was still getting benefits of the creatine without the bloating and water retention. And then eventually, as I got older and because of the cleaner eating and paying more attention to the nutrition, and this is just my personal story. I'm not saying like, this happens to everyone. This is my personal story. And this is what I recommend for people that dealt with bloating with creatine monohydrate. But once I went plant-based and started paying more attention to nutrition and also to supplementations, then I went back on creatine monohydrate. And the one I started to focus on is the Sun Warrior Active Creatine. And by taking that, I started feeling a lot better, no bloating. I feel great taking it, and I've gotten great results. And it's actually better than the creatinine that I used to take. So I've been taking that, and also I've been experimenting with the Birdman creatine as well, which is really good too. So you could get to your genetic potential without creatine, but I would say why not? Why eliminate it if it has so many great benefits? Helps build muscle, helps keep your muscle hydrated from preventing from injury, helps with recovery, helps with brain cognitive. I can't even say the word right now. Cognitive brain activity. So it helps with multiple things. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. And I guess that's it. So yeah, if that's all the questions and concerns, I'll go ahead and let everyone go. Hope everyone has a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.